How to get into Columbia University. Hi there, my name is Maria Gurieva, I'm the founder of StudyAmerica, and we help international students from all over the world get accepted to top US universities. And in this video I would like to dive deeper into something that makes Columbia different from other Ivy League schools, because Ivy League schools are all very great and sometimes it might be confusing when you just start introducing yourself to them of what are their key features. How is Columbia different from other schools? How is Harvard different? How is Cornell different, etc. It's extremely important to dive deeper into getting universities better, and in this video I'll talk a little bit about Columbia so that you have a little better idea of what kind of features you need to consider in your application and what makes Columbia different from other schools. Let's go. And in this video, let's talk not about the steps necessary to take in order to get accepted, but about some interesting features of Columbia. And probably the biggest feature of Columbia that they're really proud of is core curriculum. Core curriculum is the subjects and the requirements that are necessary to everybody that are studying at Columbia University. And core curriculum is different in different universities. Some universities don't have core curriculum at all, and even one school in the Ivy League, they do not have core curriculum, which is Brown University. Brown University requires you to study nothing. You just study whatever you want to study. But other universities in the Ivy League, they all have core curriculum, because the Ivy League was founded on the example of Oxford and Cambridge by British colonies, and they thought that core curriculum is extremely important. And Brown University was the most revolutionary university. They are the only one that decided to ditch core curriculum completely. But the idea behind core curriculum is that the university is preparing you for different things, not just to succeed in your career, but also to be an active social member, to be an active member of the society, but also to have the opportunity to really be as educated and smart and have such a round and big outlook that you can easily get into high societies. You can totally talk about different topics. You're great at all those social topics of higher societies, and that you learn not just what you want to learn, that you want to specialize in your major, but also have a brighter outlook at different things. And of course, what kind of subjects should be there in core curriculum? This is the question that each university answers differently. So if you want to learn about how to get accepted to top US universities, to Ivy League schools, and how to get financial aid, and you need a step-by-step plan, then definitely check out my free masterclass. The link is in the description to this video. It's completely free, and over there I share my experience applying to Columbia University and getting in. I'll share the experience of my students and all those cases of students which I have within 12 years of my work, and I'll talk about all the techniques and strategies that will guarantee your admissions to a top US university and will guarantee you get some financial aid. And talking about Columbia University, they have the core curriculum subjects that everybody has to take. This is a list of subjects which is universal. There's no flexibility. You have to take those subjects. Those subjects are literature, humanities, where you learn literature, that you will need to be able to talk about literature so that nothing of the topics when you talk to somebody will make you confused. Contemporary civilization, well, you learn about civilizations that are today and their history. University writing, of course, this is actually the requirement basically in all universities, and it's extremely important to take university writing class at the very beginning of your studies, because in studying in the United States and taking all those classes, you will need to write a lot. And it's especially important for international students because you might not be familiar with their academic writing, and maybe you're familiar a little bit with it because you prepared for the TOEFL test, and there are some parts of the academic writing, especially in those in that reading section. But actually writing your own papers to submit it to class requires certain format and requires you knowing how how the academic writing works in the United States, how to form a paragraph, how to start a paragraph, what is the ideal structure of a paragraph. And if you don't follow that structure, your readers might find it confusing, and it might be a completely different cultural writing in your country. Also, where to put your main idea, how to develop your main idea, and what kind of language to use, what kind of resources to use, and how to cite those resources correctly. And they have formats of citing resources and even different types of the formats and that you can choose from. It's important not just for international students, but also for American students, because American students coming from high school most likely do not know how to write really scientific, academic, university-style papers. So this is why this class is extremely important, and it is there in the core curriculum. The other classes are art humanities and music humanities. So literature humanities, art humanities, and music humanities are these different types of humanities that you need to study for sure. You need to know literature, you need to know art, you need to know music. This is what Columbia thinks you need to know. And also contemporary civilization, of course, university writing, and the last class is frontiers of science. Even if you're completely into humanities and liberal arts, you need to have an idea of how sciences work. And this is a class about that. What are the frontiers of science and how do they intersect? And just basic knowledge of the science. This is what will be studied there. Those 6 classes, one of which is just a very practical tool that you will use at the university, and 5 other classes are there to broaden your horizons, to broaden your outlook, to get into really knowing important topics that are important to know in the society. And those classes are, of course, very good. They're taught by very great teachers. Some of them are taught by Nobel Prize winners. And those classes will kind of unite you with the entire Columbia University, with everybody else, because they all took those classes. And then besides core curriculum, besides the classes that you need to take to fulfill your core curriculum requirement, there is also other core curriculum requirements that have more flexibility. Those requirements are a science requirement, so you need to take one scientific class. And even if you're just completely into humanities, you need to take that one scientific class, one science class, but you can be very flexible about what you take. And for example, a lot of students take psychology classes, which are very interesting, and they're all very different types of psychology classes. Some students might take nutrition classes and learn what are the better ways to eat. So there are a lot of flexibility in the scientific requirements. Some students really love science and then they dive deeper into biology and chemistry and physics. But some students do not really like science, and there is flexibility to take something on the edge of humanities and science and still fulfill your scientific requirement. The other requirement is global core requirement, and also everything connected to global affairs and to international affairs. And this is a great amount of classes that you can choose from. And also you need to take some of those classes and add them to your curriculum, but you have flexibility. Another requirement is foreign language requirement, and you need to take 4 semesters of foreign language in order to fulfill that requirement. You're an international student, and there is a big chance that you already know some foreign language besides English. And if that is the case, then you can pass a test of your native language, and you can avoid the language requirement. So you can fulfill the foreign language requirement by already knowing a foreign language, and then you would not have to take those 4 semesters. But a lot of students who already speak another language other than English still take those 4 semesters of a foreign language, because an additional language never hurts. And that is why a lot of students still fulfill that requirement. But if you already know a foreign language, you can fulfill that requirement by just knowing it and passing the test. And another requirement, the last requirement, is physical education requirement, 2 semesters of physical education, because you also need to take care of your body. And this is also a requirement. And the physical education classes, which again can be very different, also need to be in your list of classes. So this is a core curriculum, and the important thing to note here is that core curriculum is different in different schools. Some of schools don't have it at all. Some schools do have it, but they fulfill it differently. They have different requirements. In order to actually write your essay, understand how Columbia is different, and you need to think deeper about core curriculum and think why you really like the variety of subjects that is in the core curriculum. What kind of subjects you will take to fulfill some of the requirements, what kind of subject you will take, what kind of class you will take for your scientific requirement, for your language requirement, for your global core requirement. You can think about that, and you can already dive deeper into those classes, find amazing professors, find Nobel Prize professors, and just get excited and share your excitement in your essays. It's important to dive deeper into core curriculum and analyze it, and analyze why you like it and how you would fulfill those requirements and why you're excited about doing that. Kind of get the idea of why those subjects, those 6 subjects, university writing and then literature humanities and art humanities and music humanities and global core, why those subjects are just a great idea, why you admire that idea, why you think those subjects are really what every student needs to learn. That is something important to note, because Columbia University is different from other Ivy League schools by its core curriculum and is very proud of its core curriculum. But core curriculum is not the only thing, of course, that is great about Columbia. One of the very great things about Columbia that I really love is the fact that it's in New York City, and the amount of opportunities that you will get at Columbia by being in the city, by being involved in how the city works, by implementing the city in your classes is just extremely extraordinary experience that you probably won't get in either Ivy League schools. You will get a different experience in either Ivy League schools. For example, at Harvard, you'll still study at Boston, and it's a great city. In University of Pennsylvania, you'll study also in a great city in Philadelphia. And in Dartmouth or Cornell, you would be in remote places, but there is a lot of beauty in being in a remote place, and a lot of people find that extremely attractive. And of course, different people have different tastes, but Columbia is in New York City, and Columbia is not just in New York State like Cornell University, but it is in the heart of the city. It's on Manhattan, and a lot of classes would use the opportunities that the New York City provides. For example, I took a class, theater in New York City, and every week we would meet for a class. We would study a different period of the development of theater in New York City, and then every week after the class we would go and see a show. See different plays. We saw Broadway shows, but only once, because we only studied it for one class. And the other time we saw all those different plays that somehow were connected to the topic of the class that we saw, what we studied in that class. That was a very full experience, because we would learn a lot about history of the theater, then we would watch a play, and then we would need to write an essay about it, and to connect the play that we saw with the topics that we discussed in the class. And it was full immersion, and you probably can do it in other universities which are not in the city. A lot of classes would do that, and of course, being in the city means that you have closer connection to all those future employers and to all those internships, and those people come to your campus, they do different college fairs, career fairs, and you can talk to them, and it's kind of easier to make connections, to network. New York is a lot about networking, and Columbia provides you great opportunities in doing that. So for me, this is an extremely important feature of Columbia, but there are much more that Columbia offers. And an important thing about getting into Columbia is really learning Columbia and knowing it, and diving into deeper details of Columbia University and getting excited and showing that excitement, sharing that excitement with Columbia, and really proving, I know that you're not just another Ivy League school. I know that Columbia is my dream school because of this and this and this and that. This is true about any university you're applying to. You really need to go dive deeper into details, into learning the values of the university, the core features of the university, and real sharing that you did your homework. I hope that this video gave you an idea of Columbia, gave you some ideas, and get you a little bit inspired, but the journey does not end here. You cannot just watch this video and then you're ready to write your essay. No, you need to go to that website, columbia.edu, and you need to go and study Columbia a little bit better. Probably go visit Columbia online or in person. Probably watch more videos on YouTube about Columbia University and dive deeper into feeling the university, feeling that atmosphere. Watching more videos, watching more reviews of students who study there. But for me, Columbia is a great place, and I can't think of a better place for my studies because this gives you so much confidence in your future life because you made it to Columbia, and also you made it to New York City, and it adds up a lot. And you ended up there, you got in for some reason, you got into this school, and this gives you so much confidence that no matter where you go, you have that confidence because you did such a huge accomplishment. And Columbia probably grows that feeling in you by introducing you to different people, by helping you network, by helping you get those opportunities from the city, meeting those future employers, getting those internships, doing those study abroad programs, just being there, just being with all those talented students around, and just studying by all those amazing professors there. It builds that confidence, and I think it's crucial for your future success because having that network, having that name in your accomplishments, it gives you so much confidence in your future that you'll probably get anywhere, like in the song. If I made it here, I can make it anywhere. They love me everywhere, like a very famous song about New York City, which of course Columbia students really like. And if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of very useful videos about applying into the United States that will help you on your admissions journey. And share in the comments what you think and what is that you like about Columbia University, what was especially interesting for you, or maybe you are attracted to Columbia for some other reason. Please share what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on my next videos and in my free masterclass. Bye bye!